Dababy forced to quit music after this incident.
So did your aunt or your mama or your grandma?
Oh, you know they
upset?
wasn't going fast.
Yeah.
They like, hold on, wait a minute.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. There are many rap artists right now trying to get their name out there and make a name for themselves, both big and small. And among the pack is a rapper known as Dababy. But while it may seem like his career path is heading in the right direction, his actions are leading him into trouble that will ruin his career. So be sure to like the video and comment the keyword to win the giveaway. Number 6, Baby.
Like, bro, we about to go on and mix and master the song. Send me that session. And he said, bro, I want to throw Dababy on it.
That's fire.
No, I'm not talking about a baby, I'm talking about the song Baby. And no, I'm not talking about the Justin Bieber song, I'm talking about the song he did with Lil Baby, and the one that recently got a music video out on YouTube. A video that, might I add, has been trending since its release. It's important to note this, before diving too much into Dababy's career, because of all the intents and purposes, this is his claim to fame at the moment. This collaboration has been doing good both musically and visually, as in the music video, having millions of listens and views already. It's already the kind of song to get a career back up and running, should things go right. Which obviously is still up in the air, but you know, what can you do? Anyway, the song and music video talk a lot about the lives and times of Lil Baby and Dababy, and how they've come so far since those early days on the streets. In the music video, they even give a tribute to Al Pacino's movie Scarface, which of course many people have appreciated. Though some people have criticized it for being too mind-numbing in some ways, and fans seem to dig it though. So in the end, that's what matters more than not. Number 5, who is Dababy?
I'm Dababy, and I'm a 2019 XXL freshman.
As we all know, the music world is full of interesting people and characters, and sometimes it can be very hard to track who all the young rappers of the industry are. So if you don't know Dababy, I'll help remind you of him. First off, his real name isn't Dababy, obviously. It's actually Jonathan Lindale Kirk. He was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1991, and by the end of the decade, he moved to North Carolina. Not much is really known about why he went into rap, which is really interesting when you think about it. They usually state out how it got them into music, regardless of what the inspiration was. So whatever the reason was, by the time 2015 came along, he knew that he wanted to make some music. So that's exactly what he did. His first mixtape came in the form of non-fiction, and after its release, Dababy went on a tear by releasing a series of mixtapes all under the label of God's Work, which many feel is some of his best material. Then he did a Baby Talk mixtape series, $1 Billion Baby, Back on My Baby Jesus Shit, all of which helped him refine his rapping skills, as well as show that he was willing to do the work in regards to making music and putting it all out there for everyone to see. This may not sound impressive, but you need to remember that saying that you're going to do something is easy, but actually doing it, that's a whole other matter. So for him to do the mixtape after the mixtape and to go and try and show people in the world of rap that he's different, yeah, that's pretty important. Eventually his hard work paid off and he found himself working with Interscope Records, a very reputable record label, and through them he released his first album, Baby on Baby, which actually got close to the top of the Billboard Top 200 by being number 7. On that album was his hit single Suge, which hit the Billboard Top 100 in the 80s range before getting hot and making it all the way up to number 8. So for it to rise that much after landing that low is a big indicator of how much people like the track. In conjunction with being with Interscope Records, he also has a deal with South Coast Music Group, allowing him to work with both records on songs, which is actually a bit rare these days, as many companies rarely like to share stars, but in this case, it worked out for all the parties involved. And that's where the story stops at this moment. He's really one of the youngest rappers in terms of life in the industry. Because of that, his story has a lot to be told. But that doesn't mean that he's not writing things right now, because he's been filling in the pages of his life with some not so good tales. Number 4, the self-defense incident.
Mecklenburg District Attorney's Office spokeswoman Megan McDonald said as a result of the judgment, he did receive 1 year of unsupervised probation.
It seems like a bad joke that almost every rapper out there in the world right now has some kind of criminal history. It's usually there, and for Dababy, it's not any different. His happened at a Walmart of all places, believe it or not. The reports state that he was forced to fire upon someone in what he called self-defense, and the person he fired upon did not make it, and the police were called in on the incident. Dababy was charged with carrying a concealed item, but eventually the charges were dropped against him. For that to happen means that there was either no case that could be made against him, or that the evidence presented proved that it was indeed a self-defense incident. And of course, we'll never truly know. In terms of his life and career, this was the best case scenario. He took a life and got away with it in many ways. He wasn't even charged for the illegal piece that he was carrying. By the way, North Carolina has very different control laws when it comes to firearms than many other states, which would have easily been something much bigger for him, yet he was let off. But what does this tell us all? Well, it's simple. It shows that he's a guy who's willing to get violent and willing to go to the ultimate extreme in order to keep himself safe. While this may seem heroic or logical in some fashion, you may have to wonder what would have happened if he didn't have the firearm. We'll never know. But this might be a teaser of things to come when it comes to Dababy, especially since not long after the incident he found himself in another altercation, one that got Dababy back in the headlines for the wrong reason. A pattern that may continue if he's not careful. Number 3, the Louis Vuitton incident.
Jumped on me in here in Louis Vuitton. How many people jumped on me? a big one and a smaller one, right? Yeah. We in Louis.
If you were hoping that Dababy was only a one-time offender, you would be wrong. This next incident actually went viral. Dababy was caught in a Louis Vuitton store. During that time, he found himself confronted by another rapper named Cam Coldheart. The two had an altercation that almost happened off camera, while things that were shown did clearly show the outcome. Mainly after the incident, Coldheart was on the ground and trying to recover from the altercation that had happened. As for the Dababy, the worst of the incident that he got was apparently an arm injury, one that he happily showed off at the house, and cited all sort of things about the altercation in the song to the crowd, as well as making posts on Instagram highlighting the things about the incident. Police harassing me, searching my cars, squeezing onto my lil hard hand and shit, he wrote. As for the song he did for the crowd, thank God for letting me till my hand broke. It gave me an excuse to use this headset microphone. He joked. So what exactly did we glean from all of this? That would be that Dababy doesn't care about resorting to violence if he feels it's necessary, and he's willing to scrap if they approach him with ill intent. Granted, we don't know everything that had happened in that situation and what led up to it, and we don't know who threw the first punch. That really isn't the issue here. What happened afterwards was honestly what mattered. He got in a conflict and then rapped about it on stage, which shows that he doesn't really feel remorse for what he had done. Now, like before, Dababy wasn't charged with anything at all or arrested despite the police looking into this matter, but this rapper is on their radar, especially in his home state of North Carolina, so you'd have to think that his actions will eventually get him put away for a long time, especially if he feels that he's not exactly doing anything wrong. Oh, and to further prove that this incident that he had with Coldheart wasn't something that just happened and then he just walked away from it, Dababy also pantsed Coldheart in a sign of humiliation, so that also proves that he's willing to be mean to people in a rather evil way, and this isn't something that inspires confidence in regards to his future, and sure, he could turn himself around, and he's proven that in other ways that he can be a good guy. But while self-defense is one thing, humiliation of a rival like that is another, and that should be frowned upon. Number 2, what does he believe?
You know what I mean?
Let's speak on it. Yeah, let's speak on it.
Well, I mean, every time I see Dababy, he's either in an altercation.
If we're being honest here, when it comes to rappers, oftentimes it's not their music. It's their lyrics or looks that get them in trouble. It's their personalities and egos, the ones that grow via their fame and make them think that they're above the law and many other things. It also taints their minds at times to make them say one thing and then do another. For example, Dababy did an interview once for a website, and in it he describes what he is and what he isn't. Even the interviewer noted that he appeared to have great self-discipline, a direct contrast to the acts mentioned before. And when asked about why he acts a certain way, Dababy noted that it was all natural for him to do things like he does. I don't see the point of being overly serious. You're more marketable when you're willing to do whatever. People think it makes you less of a man, but in reality, it makes you more of a man, more of an individual. The more you try new things instead of trying to impress the crowd, you don't need to put a frown on your face to get your point across. There's something to gain from not being like everybody else. Less angry, less serious than you would be under normal circumstances. More power to you. But that, meaning mugging, ain't the way I want to live, personally speaking. According to him, what he does in his music and his music videos are meant to be comedic, and while he isn't the first person in rap to do such a thing, Busta Rhymes and Ludacris also have done things like that in the past, he admits that he's doing the comedic style of rap because it's what he likes to do. I really just do me. I'm not afraid to be creative and push the envelope when it comes to creating a vision for my music. I'm not doing comedy so much to break the stereotypes, it just happens naturally. Every rapper doesn't need to be a tough guy in the video, with staring into the camera like they're gonna scare somebody. It doesn't need to go down like that anymore. I'm making it okay to have fun with your content. If you already hear this interview before coming to this video and hear all about all the things that Dababy has done over his career, you might think that he's a very nice and peaceful young man, or that he was trying to buck the trend or stereotype put against the rap industry. Yet clearly, that's not what's going on here. And as the saying goes, your actions speak louder than your words, and Dababy's actions have spoken very loudly in the past year, and he has made no attempts to hide some of the things that he's done. He even referenced the incident at the Louis Vuitton store in one of his videos just to help poke fun at Cam Coldheart even more. So that doesn't really seem to imply self-discipline or trying to be funny for funny's sake. People need to laugh. I know personally I find humor in any situation, good or bad. Once you make a joke about hardship, you feel a whole lot better. Laughter is good for the soul. So I try to have fun with whatever I do and things that I do for others. It'll all come around. As any comedian would tell you, there are many kinds of comedy. And while humiliation is a form of comedy, it's not for everyone. While it's in the form of a joke, it's nice. It's not nice when people find out that you're really doing these things for said humiliation. That brings us back to the question of the truth, what he believes in, what he believes is true. Because by his own admission, he doesn't think he's doing certain things wrong, and yet he clearly is. So is he delusional, or does he think that he's just above it all? I'll let you decide. Number 1, the fate of mumble rappers. If we're looking beyond what Dababy is doing in regards to his personal life and actions, you can note that the biggest impediment of his career is that he's part of a group known as the mumble rappers. This is a subsection of rappers who sing in a rather low-key or over-the-top style that has a direct contrast with many rappers who have helped build up the genre. You see guys like Logic, Eminem, Drake, J. Cole, and many more current-age rappers fall into what is known as lyrical rap, meaning that their songs aren't just tracks for people to listen to, they're stories for people to get engrossed in. In fact, Eminem is hailed as one of the best rappers ever because of all the stories that he's told, including the fan favorite Stan, as well as Lose Yourself and many more. He believes in making every song matter and telling a story through them to connect with his fans. Logic is the same way, as with guys like Drake who try to handcraft masterpieces when they're right. This is versus guys like 6ix9ine, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, Lil Baby, and those who do a different take and usually sing about the same things, mainly themselves, instead of crafting stories. In the eyes of lyrical rappers, this is an abomination of their craft, and the mumble rappers will never raise themselves as high as them in their eyes. And to an extent, they are right. Eminem is one of the best and biggest rappers around, and he is a lyrical rapper. Drake is another major star in the rap industry, and he as well is a lyrical rapper. Jay-Z, Diddy, Snoop Dogg, and many more who are larger than life personalities started their career in rap as lyrical rappers. In contrast, while many mumble rappers are popular, very few, and if any, actually rank up as the best rappers of all time, even ones who have been doing this for years. Now again, it's not to say that there are failures in the rap industry, they're far from it. There are many mumble rappers who are worth millions, if not tens of millions. But if you compare them to Drake, Eminem, and many others who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, as well as seeing their list of nominations, awards, and global appearances and global appeal, you'll see how they really rank up. So for Dababy, if he really wants to truly make a name for himself in the industry, he needs to make more music and make more impactful music. Baby is an example of not doing that because at times you can barely understand what is being said. Whether he does it or not is really up to him, but to not at least consider it, yeah, that would be a mistake. And so there you have it, everyone. A look at the mistakes of Dababy and whether they'll lead up to his eventual demise in the rap industry. So what do you think of Dababy? Do you think he'll be able to rise up through the ranks, or will he be another rapper who never achieves his mega fame? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on King Trending.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad Mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.